Today with on Captive Audience. I've got a special guest tonight. Joel Pulowski is here with me. And for those of you that don't know, Joel is a friend and he is the chair of Marion County Republican Party, a
hmm
retired Army lieutenant colonel, and also owner of Cascade Craftsman that makes some really cool stuff with resins and wood. And Joel, thank you so much
Thank you.
for joining us tonight. And
Glad to be here.
also, he is one of the chief petitioners of Constitutional Carry Oregon, which when I got an email yesterday, I said that let me know that they are ready to roll. I quickly text Joel and said, hey, you want to come on Captive Audience? He says, you
Yes,
bet. So, Joel,
exactly.
tell us the good news.
So, constitutional carry for Oregon is a go. We have achieved liftoff. So we've got signature templates for the 160,551 signatures that we need to get on the ballot for November of 24. Yeah. And just so you know, we have a little bit over a year. We've got until July 5th of next year to get those done.
Mm-hmm.
So we will be at every state fair, or I should say county fair, and the state fair too, this summer. And so we'll be trying to get the bulk of that work done here in the next few months.
Okay, and you have different county leads. Oh, I just posted your
Yep.
website there.
Yep. So if you go to the
And
website, you can see. I'm gonna I'm gonna dual task here so I know what I'm looking at and talking about.
okay,
So you go there and you can see county leads in the middle of the page, and you click that, and then that'll take you to the page, and then there's just a name and a link, and that'll give you an email to get a hold of whoever's in charge of that county for us and working on it. Not every county is covered, but there's only 1, 2, 3, 4 missing. So
well, that's really good. Now, do you have
yeah, excuse me.
are you going to also have that you a 10 sheet link to that people can print out or no?
So we have the single signer on the website.
Right.
Okay. And the 10 person, I don't, the
Signature sheet.
10 signer signature sheet, however we want to say that thing.
Say
Yeah,
that.
that's going to come through our county leads so that we know how many are out there, and then we know we get them all back. All right. Because otherwise, if everybody just starts downloading stuff off the, and
Right.
then we lose track of what happens. So we have to have the number of sheets or number of signatures that we need, and we have to know that we have enough. So we have to be able to keep track.
Right.
You can't just like turn it loose in the wild and then cross your fingers and hope.
Right. And then you have on your
Mhm.
website as well
Yeah.
permanent signing locations.
Yes. So those are businesses. I went through those earlier today on my show. Shameless plug for Marion Leader. Albany, Baker City, Dallas, Kaiser. There's more coming too. There's a bunch more coming. Prineville, Salem, Silverton, Albany again will be in there. There's a bunch of folks. And they're all great Americans, great Oregonians who are helping us out. So one of the things about if you have a business that signs, you have to have someone who is either the owner or someone who is off the clock witness your signature. So that's why we have basically the owners of all these businesses are taking their time away from their business to help us with this, get signatures. And
Well,
that's
great. Well, I know
amazing
that we'll
for
be
them.
adding some here in Umatilla County, at least one that I can tell you right now, and that will be our campaign office that we
Okay.
have, right?
All
I
right.
mean, that's where we should be and when it's manned, and we're actually going to be manning it more hours of the days of the week, especially for getting signatures on petitions. We're going to do
Yes.
some specific days that are for that.
Oh,
Um,
great.
Yeah. So that'll be fun to
Mhm.
add, and it's going to be actually fun to look at your website to see where those are. And so I just ask people to check back often because it is, like it says here, more locations will be added after the gathering of 160,551 begins, which you have to
Mhm.
gather more than that.
Yes. Yeah, we had about a 30% over. We turned in over 1,300 signatures for the sponsorship.
Mhm.
And actually, it was 1346. Um, wow. Anyway, and 25% of those were Democrats that signed.
Wow. Now
Yeah.
that is amazing. Actually, that is amazing.
Hmm.
Before we launched our program today, we were talking
Yeah.
about this, saying, constitutional carry is not a partisan issue. I
No.
know plenty of Democrats out at the gun range, that they like to shoot, they like to hunt, and they like the outdoor lifestyle as well. It's not, gun culture isn't all about hunting. Maybe they compete, shoot competitively and things like that.
Mhm.
But that's
Yeah.
amazing, 25%.
Everybody, we weren't even trying to find Democrats for that. We went to, uh, you know, central committee meetings to get signatures. Okay.
Right,
So
right.
this was not this was not like, okay, sure, all right, we're gonna go to the mall or whatever. We didn't do
Right.
anything like that. We were like in 100. We thought we were in like pretty heavy Republican ground, but nope. Mm-mm. Yeah, my son got a bunch from out in Washington County, where he works out there, and so I'm sure that's where some of them came from at least. But
Well,
yeah.
that's interesting. That's really, I'm excited that the kickoff is now,
Hmm.
especially when all the
Hmm.
fairs, the rodeos
Yes.
are happening, all the fairs are coming up. In fact, this year is the year to gather the bulk of your signatures.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
You
Right
know,
now.
it really needs to be
Hmm.
this year push because it's by July of
Yeah.
next year when the fairs haven't happened yet.
Yeah, yeah, we have to turn in before all the fairs start next year, really. So this July, we are going to be everywhere. I mean, the Marion County Fair, of course, because it's where I'm at. Lynn County, Polk County, um,
You'll be in Umatilla County, I guarantee you. The
Umatilla
petitions
County.
will.
All right, the petitions will. I might not be there, but you
Right.
never know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Well,
might,
you're
I might
welcome
get a
to come
hankering
on
to try.
down, but I know that you
Yeah.
guys are going to be
Mhm.
extremely busy
Yes.
with
Every weekend is
events.
full from now until Labor Day.
100%. I believe
Yep.
it. I believe because now is the push.
Yep.
The push to make sure petitions are out there.
Hmm.
In fact, I just text our county lead today and I said, "Hey, I need petitions," you know.
Yep.
So
Yeah,
I'll
tomorrow I have I do a show on KSLM, and then after that I'm going out and delivering petitions to several places in the local area here in Salem area.
okay. All right. Well, I know that right
Hmm.
now is a busy time, and yesterday was the first day of, okay, here we go. I'm assuming it was yesterday since the email came out yesterday.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, today's like the first full day.
Right.
My son, I'm guarantee you right now, is out gathering petition signatures right
I
now.
love it.
Hmm.
I love it. And I know that you have people that are near you all
Hmm.
that can hit the ground running.
Yep.
And I'm excited for this and excited to see this coming to fruition.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, hey, there's some
Mm.
crazy business happening, and you just look around, listen to some news, especially alternative news. That's where I find by citizen journalists, you get some of the best news, actually. But this is a story that is out of just the news
Hmm.
that a watchdog is warning about shady trial lawyer pipeline. It's warning about a shady trial lawyer pipeline. pumping public money to left-wing causes. And
That
so
sounds completely normal to me.
it does, right? Except
Yeah.
for they're bringing it to shady lawyers. I don't know that lawyers should be doing that. I don't
Isn't
know. I don't know what the law is on this at
yeah.
all. And so these PACs that have ties to law firms that have slid their way into state contracts in
Hmm.
states like yours,
Yes.
contracts are often lack basic protections. So
Hmm.
here you are. That's the link. And so you have a PAC or a law firm that is, helping the Democrat Party or helping the legislators
Hmm.
in our state, the Democrat legislators. And so the PACs are, giving these law firms money, apparently. And so it's the alliance, the groups are including the Truth and Justice Fund Company, a handful of justice PACs established for each 2-year cycle since 2018. AAJ PAC, it's affiliated with a
Hmm.
trade group, American Association for Justice. Boy, that sounds good. Formerly known as Trial Lawyers of America. Each group, however, is closely tied to plaintiff
So they
side trial firms and power by money flowing out of the firms that have contracts with state or local governments.
hmm.
And this is the Alliance for Consumers report. And so I've posted a link here. When I see our government giving away millions and billions of dollars, I always think, well, they're just that's going to get funneled somehow over
Yep.
to the Democrat Party. That's absolutely where my mind goes. And it wasn't like that even 5 years ago for me.
Yeah.
I don't know about for you.
Well, I worked in and around Washington for the last 15 years that I was in the Army. So I'm much more
Hey,
cynical than
David's
you are.
joined us. I
Hey,
know he
David, how
says
you
not
doing?
Sunny Danforth, but
Yeah, not sunny, sunny and not sunny.
yes.
Sounds like a weather forecast.
Hi, David.
Hi there.
So you were working, Joel, in Washington, D.C., so this doesn't surprise you.
I didn't live in it, but I traveled in there and worked in the circles and that kind of stuff. And you see it all the time because it is, when under the Clinton administration, it got really bad with no bid contracts, and it's your cousin, it's your brother-in-law, and the no bid contract, and that stuff just got completely out of hand. And by the time I got involved around 2005 or so, yeah, everything was a no bid contract basically at that point.
Wow.
And so,
And that's
and
not how
it
it's
is
supposed to
now.
be, quite frankly.
No,
not at all. It's supposed to be
Yeah.
by bid. And so that's just
Mm-hmm.
another how far we've gone,
Mm-hmm. Yep. And
Not
it's not
Sunny and
Sunny,
not Joel.
not Joel.
Hey, David,
Okay.
glad you could join us.
Sorry I'm late.
That's okay. We're happy to have you here.
Had a late
Mhm.
customer.
We were talking about this story about the shady trial lawyer pipeline, and to give a little bit of an example of that, it says that, where did I read? The Justice PACs collectively gave nearly 3.2 million, 100% of which went to Democratic causes.
Shock.
Well,
Truth and Justice gave 2.6 million during the same period,
mhm.
all of which went to the Democrats or their aligned groups. And the AJJ PAC, for instance, made nearly 19 million in such donations and expenditures, 98% of which went to Democrats or the party's allied organizations. So it's
So Democrats are buying the
just,
justice system?
well, the law firms are aligned with the PACs that have ties to the law firms that have state contracts, is what it is. So it's a kickback, in other words.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
I mean, or pay to play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
It's a long.
Yeah. You got the contract, so
long-standing tradition, at least in Oregon, that taxpayers fund Democrat campaigns.
Yes.
Oh gosh, I don't want my tax money going there at all.
That's why it is neither moral nor patriotic to pay taxes.
This is true.
So another story that we're kind of talking about, some nationwide stuff right now, is that I just posted from Just the News. An IRS whistleblower says search warrants and charges for Hunter Biden have been blocked, and Joe met Chinese client. So
I'll be right back. I have to go find my shocked face.
Yeah, exactly. Oh no.
Find it.
Yeah, but you know what? It is so. Am I shocked by it? No. But boy, it sure pisses me off seeing the 2 tiers of justice.
Well, yeah, the more that we see this, the more it's normalized. It started with Clinton. You know, and they just keep hammering on it, and it becomes normalized. None of us are shocked, right? You know, and
right.
And it's you know, the logical end to that is what we've known all along, which is you know, a weaponized, politically motivated justice system, and that's where we're ending up. You know, where people are either prosecuted and or convicted and or sentenced to the maximum, depending on what their political views are. That's what we're seeing. You know.
Well, it is, and so this Gary Shapley, he said that excuse me, I have to sneeze.
Bless you.
Thank you. He confirmed career prosecutors originally intended to charge Hunter Biden, but the superiors are blocking all of this.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You know, and this is where this is not acceptable in our nation.
This is where you replace the flagpole with a banana tree.
Yes.
I don't want a banana tree.
I don't either. But that's where we are, you know. And you know, people get a little concerned sometimes when I say that, you know, it might be time to refresh the tree of liberty, but we declared independence and liberty over abuses that are probably far less than what we're suffering now. A long train of abuses, and you know, I don't see how you can vote yourself out of it. I mean, you know, maybe I'm a cynic. I just don't see how you can vote yourself out of this. I mean, we have an entrenched administrative deep state, if you want to call it that. Good term for it.
Yep.
Unelected bureaucrats appointed, funded by taxpayers, as you had pointed out. Those that are elected that appoint these people, and they hold all the power. You know, I mean, we've got a former president that's under their under their thumb.
Well, we do, and we have a lot of lawfare going on, and the judicial system being used against conservative lawyers. If you are helping to defend a conservative person or a gun rights person, a Second Amendment incident, you're being taken to task under ethics.
Yeah.
And that is scary for our nation, really.
It is scary, and it is scary, and I'm not sure how you. I mean, I guess you can vote harder, but
you know, yeah.
Well, there's 2 arguments there. The first one is that we don't have we haven't turned in enough ballots, and we have not, had enough turnout. The last election, we had 126,000 Republicans not vote here in Oregon, and then you have loss of the lower body of the representatives by 4,200 votes. Okay, so if those 126,000 had voted, when you do the math, right, then we would have gained control of at least the lower house, maybe had a tie in the Senate, and maybe even won the governor's race, which was lost by 45,000 votes. And then the other half of that is, then they're just going to cheat harder. So
Yeah.
the question we really can't answer is, until we have the kind of turnout that we really need to have, is whether or not there's enough in the slack in the system, if you will, to get us to a win. If we have enough turnout,
Right.
And it's even here in Marion County, we had great success in the May elections. We won 19 out of 21 races that we endorsed or backed, but turnout wasn't that great, and we need the turnout to get better.
Well, we need turnouts, and we need more numbers. We're down. Oregon's a D+10 state. So, even if we had 100% turnout, even if there was 0% fraud, we're not going to win statewide. It's still an uphill fight. Yeah. Yeah. It doesn't happen in D+10 states. So I had posited to somebody the other day, because of the close margins, I think 7,500 overall for the Senate and the House, that, just at our turnout, or midterm turnout rates, which are usually about 75%, historically, even at those turnout rates, had we registered 10, 15, 10, 12, 15,000 more Republicans at that turnout rate, we would have the gavel. We would not have walk out, have 2002 or 2005 or 39, whatever the hell that one is, that's still in the legislature. So, it's an old drum that I've been banging for a few years now. Sonny's heard it over and over again. But it's, politics is math. It's math.
Yes.
If you don't have the numbers, you don't win. The only thing that matters is that you have the number of ballots at the end of the 30-day election period, or whatever the hell it is we have in Oregon now.
Our 2-month election window.
Yeah.
Because we vote for a month and then we count for a month.
I just got my election to the local fire board certification in the mail today from May.
Well, a friend of mine this week, a friend of mine got his for a water district.
Yeah. It's 27 days after the May election is when the counting stops officially.
Wow.
Takes 27 days.
Yeah.
That's unreal. That's unreal where it's gone.
It is.
Well, and the thing is, you're absolutely right, David. It is about the numbers. We have to register more Republicans.
We do.
And that is going to come out of those unaffiliated voters.
Yeah.
And now we have a whole new party in Oregon. The no name or no brand or the nobodies. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it has to come out of those unaffiliated voters, and people have got to get off their ass and, vote. Yeah.
Well, if you can convert non-affiliated voters, because Motor Voter continues to register people, and by the way, Motor Voter will register you in more than one county.
Yes.
If you are registered to vote in one county and you renew your driver's license in another county, you will have another ballot. I can verify that. But because Motor Voter continues to do that, NAV turnout goes down about 2% a cycle. I think the last was what,
Yeah.
38%. The cycle before that was 40. The cycle before that was 42. But if you register those people Republican and they have a primary candidate to vote for, I think if they will make the decision to say, yeah, I think I do want to be affiliated with a party that champions my values, I think we'll see those people turn out at a much higher rate than NAVs overall. At least close. It's got to be close, if not the same as our normal turnout, which is about 75% in a midterm and 85 plus percent in a presidential year.
Yeah. A 5% boost in turnout for Republicans would change a lot of races.
Well, yeah, absolutely. I mean, turnout is the lowest hanging fruit. But I'll tell you what, man, Suni will attest to this. We've been trying for years, just to move the needle on turnout. And I don't know what the secret is, but I was never able to do it. So, when I was chair of Marion County, we elected Republican senators and Republican, at least one Republican governor and at least one Republican president in Marion County, even though we were pretty close to 50-50. So, but I don't think we were ever really able to make a big spike in turnout. Now, there is one county, is it Wallowa, Suni?
Wallowa. They've got the highest voter turnout.
Yeah, I don't know how the hell they do it. I don't know if they just if they work on it all year or what.
You know what? It's a it's a conservative county, although it's being inundated with Democrats.
Yeah.
But the voters there, they are paying attention and they're voting.
Yeah, it's a culture thing in a lot of ways.
Yes, because of the rural environment, a lot of cattle ranches, a lot of ranches over there. And I think they've been taught the value of the vote in Wallowa County. But, here in Umatilla County, one of the things that we did, and it took a lot of money, was a mailer out going into those that were unaffiliated, that leaned Republican, that had actually voted. Yes. And then also we did another mailer to educate the Republicans that this was our endorsement, our voter recommendation on the ballot measures and because how many times all three of us have experienced this, I'm sure, that people will not turn a ballot in because they don't know how to vote.
Yes.
And so we did a mailer, we put it in the newspaper, we did it on Facebook for our county. The only thing we didn't do was on radio or television, and it cost us a lot of money.
Yeah.
But the outcome, we had a higher turnout. Now, of course, in these, these districts, that didn't happen. That's the district elections these midterms are always a lower voter turnout.
Yep.
But the outcome, it helped.
It does. Yeah. The thing that we're going to work on here is climbing up on the technology tree a little bit. And you've seen it a little bit from the ORP in kind of a general sense, to text you to let you know that, hey, there's an election going on.
Right.
Now, if we do that at the county level and really target it, and especially because we get to know exactly who has voted and who hasn't. If we send you a text that says, hey, turn in your ballot. And the next day we send you another one, turn in your ballot. And the next day we send you another one that says, these will stop when you turn in your ballot.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But it's more than just turn it in. We have to educate them what our recommendation is. Because
and that'll come with other information as well.
Measures, they don't have a clue on what the people, the general public are not following those things, unfortunately.
Oh no. Yeah, you can put a link in there for references. You can do a lot of that stuff. And texts get opened at a 96% rate versus email with you're lucky if you get a 33%, a third of it to open.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah, that's a huge open
Yeah.
rate actually.
mhm.
Yeah.
So that's what we're going to try and do.
Okay, well, that all sounds good. Listen,
It
to
does.
move on a little bit, and elections are so important, but there's other crazy things that are happening. Here, I posted a story of this biology professor, Johnson Varkey. His biology professor has been fired for teaching science of male and female. For 20 years, he's taught anatomy and physiology at St. Philip's College, part of the Alamo Community College District of Texas. And now, 19 years and 1,500 students later, they fired him because of at one particular class, he says in this article, that like 4 students got up and walked out when he said that it's a gender. He said that I'm trying to find his quote.
Come quickly, come quickly, Lord Jesus.
Yes.
If you don't believe
That if
Jesus,
that wasn't his quote, it should have been.
That wasn't it, but it was. It was that gender is decided by the X and the Y chromosomes.
That's what I learned in 9th grade biology.
So they got up and walked out and
Yes.
filed a complaint, and now here he is and gets fired. And I'll tell you what, it's
they should have kicked all those students out of the class.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is in
Tell them
Texas.
from the school, you people need to leave. You are too stupid to get a diploma here.
But the thing is
at a
this
community
is
college.
Texas. I don't expect that there.
San Antonio is fully woke. That city government is that's where the Castro brothers came from. The twins. One of them was the mayor of San Antonio when I lived there. And let me put it to you this way. Okay. Joaquin Castro, okay, is not his original name. And his mom is Filipino and his dad is Japanese, but he pretends to be Mexican.
Gosh. That sounds so left.
And gets away with it.
Yeah.
Not a lick of Spanish anywhere.
Yeah.
Can't speak it. Okay. But yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I'm a redheaded, blue-eyed Native American.
Yes. Well, that too. Yes. Yeah. So I mean, they're one of them got to be and they're twin brothers, and when one of them was running for mayor, nobody realized that there was a twin, and so the twin would like go to one event on one side of town, and it's like Joaquin and Justin, I think, are the two names. Anyway, and the mayoral candidate would be on the other side of town, and they would both pretend to be the candidate.
Wow.
And
Yeah.
And that flew in San Antonio?
Oh yeah. Perfectly fine stuff.
Huh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because the mayor in San Antonio is a ceremonial position. The mayor has no power. He has no ability to veto anything. He has no ability to do anything.
Oh, I see.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. The city council has all the power.
So the next mayor will be a drag queen, probably.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but he gets to be the mayor of a city of 2.5 million people. So it's a very important job. Yeah. But it does ribbon cuttings and nothing else, really.
Wow.
But yeah. San Antonio. It's a fun place.
Yeah.
Well, I posted another story that is our bipartisan Oregon Senate has voted to approve jail time and fines for fentanyl possession.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I know. Well, I'll tell you, it's a little too late, but better late than never, right? I mean, gee whiz, Measure 110 was just an awful killer here in Oregon.
Measure 110 is a murder weapon.
Yeah. In fact, in this article, I had read
that Narcan is a drug dealer's best friend.
Yep.
1,275 people died of fentanyl overdoses in 2021. And that doesn't, those are the people that died. That doesn't include all of those that were saved, from Narcan.
Yeah.
And
well, it's
yeah, when we run out of Narcan, that number is going to go up tenfold.
I don't know what it's done to Eugene and Salem and other somewhat larger cities and Bend, but all of the resources, particularly the fire department resources, which include medical calls, are being totally occupied with either drug overdoses or drug emergencies and or fires caused by drugged up people living on the streets.
Yeah, I haven't seen the numbers out of Salem, but last year Portland had over 2,000 homeless related fires.
Yeah, and so the rest of us that are actually paying the taxes that fund those services, the fire department, are pretty much SOL when it comes to if grandma's having a stroke, you're screwed because the EMTs are out stabbing somebody in the chest with some Narcan to bring them back to life so they can get loaded again either later that day or the next day. And
you're absolutely right.
Yeah,
you're absolutely right. We're SOL. We're cut out of that. If that happens, by them being so busy with all of them. Hey, I want to move on to a couple others quickly. And one is Northwest Coalition for Energy Choice. House Bill 3409 is a massive climate overhaul that has got to get broken out into separate policies.
Well,
everybody needs to get a hold of their senators. It's going to be voted on the floor. It says this week, although I'm going to guess today's Friday, maybe next week.
No.
Does either of you have an update on this?
Sunday's Sine Die.
Yeah,
so it's
Sunday.
Today.
Oh, okay.
Tomorrow or Sunday.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's
tomorrow or Sunday.
I didn't realize Sunday was Sine Die.
Yeah.
It's the constitutional end of it, regardless of where they are in the session. They need to conclude. Though it's strange, that they would even consider that constitutional requirement, because there's a lot of other constitutional requirements they don't seem to give any consideration to.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. This is a fig leaf at this point.
So they could be working really late tonight and through Saturday, actually.
And Sunday.
And Sunday. I think it's Sunday at like 5 p.m. or something like that.
It's not a waste of time to contact your senators about that. Another one is apparently our Senate yesterday voted. Senate Republican leader Tim Knopp had carried House Bill 3127A on the Senate floor, and that measure bans TikTok on government-owned devices, and it passed unanimously. So that has now it awaits the signature of the governor, and I think that's good news, quite frankly. And there's something like 27 other states that have signed that, and that's a good thing.
Yeah, if you want to get yourself scared about internet censorship, read the Restrict Act, which is the federal bill that purports to ban TikTok as an excuse to do a lot of other really bad stuff, like ban VPNs for your private use.
That's bad. That is bad. That's a bad.
TikTok is Chinese spyware at best, the TikTok challenge that you see kids doing, where they do some goofy thing, that's semi-dangerous. One of the latest ones was actually to go hit someone, was to commit an act of violence. Okay. And that escalation is exactly where I thought it would go, as they try and use it as an agent of chaos to create more problems inside the United States.
Wow.
And I could talk about how China's been at war with us since 1988 all day long if you want to.
Yeah.
But
Well,
another
that's
story.
exactly right.
Mhm.
So I want to talk about Monday.
Yeah.
Congressman Cliff Bentz is holding a field hearing on the lower Snake River Dam removal. And it's going to be in Richland, Washington, this coming Monday, June 26th at 1:00. And it is called, the hearing is titled, "The Northwest at Risk: The Environmentalists' Effort to Destroy Navigation, Transportation, and Access to Reliable Power." And
Yep.
I had heard him, I got a call the other day from Risa, in his campaign, and let me know about this meeting and encouraging people to show up, because he's bringing, other congressmen and women over here to our area and have this discussion.
Good.
That we've got to save the dams. There's a huge push to remove the Snake River dams, and let's got to save the salmon. But yet, like right now, I'm seeing barges going down the Columbia River. Well, they come from the Snake River as well.
Yeah.
Right on down. And the city that I live in Milton Freewater, Oregon, we have, our energy comes from 2 dams on the Snake River. So we have our own utility. We're not relying on anybody else.
Yeah.
And so this really is big news. In fact, I posted it all over Facebook late last night. And this is really important that people, at the very least, you can attend it virtually. You can write testimony for this, but they need people in the seats saying that are opposing this. There's 4 dams at risk of removal: Ice Harbor, Lower Monument, Little Goose, and Lower Granite dams. And this is about flood control, irrigation, and navigation, and energy production.
Yeah, there's 635 dams in the Bonneville Power Balancing Authority area, and most of them are flood control, about 90%.
Right.
And in case you haven't wondered, it rains around here quite a bit on occasion,
and it snows
it snows, and then suddenly it melts.
Yeah.
That's right.
Quickly.
And it might melt when it's raining at the same time.
Yes, and it might melt and rain. Yeah. It usually does work that way. Because I live down the hill from Detroit Lake, and that's been going off and on. And they drained the lake a couple of years ago, and we're waiting. They drained the lake in like January.
Whoa.
Which made no sense.
Right.
And then of course it didn't refill, and then they're like, oh look, drought.
Yeah.
Climate change.
Climate change. We drained the lake. So it's very full right now, I might add.
Right. Yeah.
Because we had the snowiest March in history.
Yeah.
So
and and this is why we have reservoirs for when it is lean times. It's also to continue with irrigation, for crops. And
growing food.
This is a big deal for people to attend and give input to save the dams on the Snake River. And you clearly know something about that.
I worked for Bonneville Power for about 1.5 years, and got to study how everything works. That was the job that I had there, and I went to school on hydropower, and
I'll tell you, and hydropower has made some big changes. They have turbines now that fish can pass through. It doesn't chew them up. You of course have to change that infrastructure, but it still blows my mind that Oregon does not consider hydropower to be renewable energy. It blows
That's
my mind.
that's actually it depends on which part of the federal government you're talking to as to whether or not hydropower is renewable.
Well, you're right. No, and the federal
Mhm.
government
Yeah.
considers it, but our
Yeah.
state government does not. But yet Washington does. I only live
Mhm.
10 miles to Washington border,
Yeah.
and
Yeah. It's funny to me.
it's ludicrous, quite frankly. Half of the dam is going to be, yes, that's considered hydropower, but oh, this
North
side of the
side.
dam,
Only
no, it's not, or
Yep.
green
Only the
energy.
north side of the river is renewable.
Yes, yeah, that's
Yeah.
it. Only the north side.
Well, we're losing 4 dams down here this year on the Klamath.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know about that.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's awful.
it is awful. It is awful. And the Klamath Lake area,
Mhm.
has suffered, quite a bit of loss of irrigation capacity or irrigation ability, I should say, because
Yep.
of federal BS. And it's going to the way that dams altered the landscape and allowed people to grow and raise things where they couldn't do it before. That same
Mhm.
degree of change is going to be coming to these areas that no longer have that ability. I mean, they're going to become wastelands.
Yeah. It's just going to go back to being complete desert
Yes,
where
that's what happens.
does not support life. You need
No,
water for
and that's
life.
why we're hearing more people
Mhm.
leaving Oregon,
Mhm.
because of these types of unsustainable decisions that are being made at so many levels that are affecting our state, affecting our livelihoods, and are not really for the greater good of everybody that lives here.
No, they're not. They're not. No, they
Mhm.
are not. If there is any good, it is for very narrow special interests. Uh,
Yeah,
I mean, like
yeah, it is.
Klamath Lake, most of that's been the Klamath dams. Most of that's been driven by a Native American tribe that's 50, 75 miles, maybe it could be as much as 100 miles downstream of the
Mhm.
nearest dam. And I understand that the dam anywhere on the river changes its flow, but it's just they're sending us back to the Stone Age.
Well,
Yes.
flooding can change its flow too,
I might
and wait till
Yes.
that
I
happens.
might start breeding donkeys. I mean, that might be the new growth industry, because I think that's where they want us to be.
Oh boy.
Breed donkeys and yeah. Hmm.
Yeah,
Well,
stone
listen,
tablets.
just a reminder
Thank
for
you.
everybody, the
Mhm.
constitutional carry for Oregon petition is ready to gather signatures. They
Yes, it
are
is.
distributing petitions to the county leads, and go to the website. We posted it in the link. I'll do it again. Let me get to the home page, and I'll post that again. And
What's the deadline on that, Joel?
July 5th of 24 next year.
Excellent.
Yep.
And what is the number? 100 and some odd thousand?
160,551 plus a buffer.
That should be
So
doable.
in the neighborhood of 200,000.
Right.
Mhm.
okay, well, there we are. Joel,
Yep.
I appreciate you coming on today.
Thank you.
And very much. And congratulations. I'm glad this thing is hitting the ground, and it'll be exciting. I'll tell you, I think that is going to help generate voters. It's going to help register voters.
Yep.
And that's a good thing. It's going to energize for sure the conservative base. I don't know about the others, but having 25% Democrat, maybe we'll convert a lot more Democrats.
Well, yeah. Yeah, them and our out of control state government. But one of the biggest reasons to do this is to actually prove that we can do something like this in Oregon.
Yeah.
Okay. Is to get a win. So I like winning. So I'm gonna go get a win.
All right. I
All
like
right.
it. Thank you so much. Have a
Thank
great
you.
evening, everybody, and have a good weekend.
Cheers.
Night.
Good night.